Hi, Andy Herringshaw with Tractor Innovations. Today I'm going to show the installation of a Power Beyond kit onto this Kubota B2301. These kits are absolutely the most affordable and easiest way to get a set of remotes or Power Beyond connections onto your tractor. So this Power Beyond kit is simply a plug-in at the back of your tractor. This female is going to be on the back of the tractor to plug in a log splitter, plug in a backhoe, or anything that needs constant flow. This is not controlled flow. You can't plug a cylinder straight into this, but this is going to give you flow. You could also run any implement that's got its own valve off of the back of the tractor. So this kit installs really simply. We're going to take one pipe like this off of the tractor and replace it with this loop that will allow you to plug in any implement that needs constant flow on the back of the tractor. This kit includes all the hardware, fittings, couplers, brackets, everything to install this, and just needs a few simple wrenches to get it installed. Today this is going on a Kubota, but I build these for lots of different makes and models of tractors. Check out the rest of my channel, Tractor Innovations, and my website is listed right below here. All right, to connect the hydraulic hoses, we've got to get up under this seat. And while I used to think you could probably squeeze the bolts out of there, it is worth just taking out 8 bolts, pop this seat out of the way, and then we've got great access. So we've got 2 bolts here, one here under the fender, another under the fender here, and 2 bolts here by the operator station. Pop those out real quick, and then we are off to the races. You'll need a 12mm socket. All we need to do is get this to tilt forward a bit. I did say 8 bolts, and it's true, there's 8. 2 more right under here. All right, all the bolts are out of the seat, and all we need to do is get access right underneath this panel and to a fitting down here. So we don't have to totally take the seat out of here. So we don't need to undo the seat safety switch, wiring, anything, but it is a little tight. So you'll see these plastic clips right in here. We'll need to just loosen a couple of those. A pair of pliers clipping on the back of these keepers will loosen them up, and then the seat can just fold out of the way. That's all we need to do. We don't need it any further than that. And you can see those keepers would be trying to hold the wire up there. So just a little bit of flexibility. Now we're ready to connect the hydraulics. All right, we are under the seat, and we're going to take a look at this hose right here. This returns fluid from the loader valve over here back into the transmission. And this carries full pressure, full flow. This is our Power Beyond pipe. So with a 7/8 inch wrench, we're going to remove this end of the pipe. The other end is bigger than any wrench I have, so I'm going to use an adjustable wrench to disconnect it. All right, this is your bigger bolt from down below. I put a caliper on this, and it is 25.7 millimeters. So a 1-inch wrench might go on it, but I think a 1 inch is going to be just a little small. So a 26mm wrench, or maybe like an inch and a 1/16 would probably work to get that off. But an adjustable wrench was just fine. There's no washers on the lower one, but this upper one, take a look, it's got crush washers. So just keep track of those as you take them off. All right, I've got my new parts lined up here. In place of this end of the pipe, we're going to be putting on a banjo adapter that goes to JIC type fittings. And with that, we're going to use crush washers. We've got a new bolt that's going to go through there. If you look here, here's the factory bolt. Its shoulder is just a little too large to use with these new banjo fittings. So slide a crush washer onto the bolt, through the banjo, and then crush washer on the bottom. Thread that right into the top of the transmission. And we can pretty much point this straight out to the side, and we'll be putting a JIC threaded fitting right onto there. The old bolt can just go to the side, takes the pressure out of the loader valve and brings it back to our Power Beyond circuit. We have an O-ring boss fitting. So this thread is going to go in, tighten it with a 7/8 wrench. To connect the supply hose, this female coupler is what's going to have pressure to give to your implement. So we are going to take this fitting and screw it onto the side of the loader valve. That's going to bring pressure directly out of Power Beyond to your implement. Connect the Power Beyond return hose into the fitting you screwed into the transmission. To secure this remote coupler to the roll bar here, I've got a bracket, a backer bar, and a bag of hardware with U-bolts and everything. So that can go into the magnetic bowl. And I'm going to set the bracket. I like to keep it more inboard. It's away from the tire and away from anything that's going to move. We've got the links of the 3-point here. Well, I learn something every time I work with a tractor. So as I was working on this earlier, I put the coupler down here lower and outside the roll bar, but I found that there was a bit of interference when I raised this 3-point all the way up down here at the bottom of this lift link. So it really sits a whole lot better inside the roll bar all the way up here, and it really sits well out of the way. So play with it on your tractor, see what works for you and your implements and your settings. But for some it may work down here low, but on this tractor it is better up high inside the roll bar. I'm gonna slide the bolts, there we go, into the backer bar first and slide them right over the rollover protection. This is pretty flexible how you want to mount it, but that's looking about right to me. So let me go ahead and put on the lock washers and nuts. You can tighten that in place with a 1/2-inch wrench and backer. Now take the U-bolt and we're going to attach the coupler to the bracket. Let me show you with a spare coupler. There is a wider groove right in the middle of this coupler that U-bolt is going to go over and secure it into the bracket. So slide it over that, into the bracket, and lock washers and nuts go on. With the hoses connected to the supply and return to the tractor, now we just need to complete this loop so that fluid can flow through the entire loop while there's no implement. So that coupler is attached to the tractor. To connect it, simply shove in on a coupler. That's it. It's connected. To disconnect, pull out to disconnect. And I leave this hose loose so that you can get the angle right. So once we get this plugged in and that hose is kind of at rest at the angle it wants to be at, you'll tighten this up with an 11/16 and 7/8 inch wrench. Do not over tighten these. It just sits on about 3 threads and it seals up internally. So really don't, just put your wrists into it, not your whole arm. And that installation is complete. There you have it, the easiest and most affordable way to get a set of Power Beyond remote couplers onto your tractor. You can hook up a backhoe, a log splitter, or any other implement that needs constant flow. I don't have a demo of an implement on this B series tractor, but I do have a demo on an L series tractor that I'm going to link in right after this. Thanks for watching. Now it's time to hook up the connections. Tractor is off. Take a second and make sure all the pressure is out of the tractor. So set the 3-point down. All right, it's not moving. Move your loader lever to all 4 positions. We just want to make sure all the pressure is out of everything in the tractor. Now to hook up the backhoe, disconnect your coupler there and plug it into your female on the backhoe. Male from the backhoe right into the tractor supply. And if you don't have those fittings on your backhoe, let me know. I can include those in your kit. And there you go. Now you can see me a little better. I can include those in your kit. We can also do industrial A, industrial B, or other sizes of fittings to match what your tractor or implement has. All right, we've got hydraulic power coming from the tractor. Now let's just all right, we're just doing that at idle and certainly a little faster and ready for things. Rev it up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to put your seat bolts back in.